I have no desire, nor will I, stereotype any generation. So I'm not going to say, you know, millennials are lazy. I know many Gen Xers that are lazy, so I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to say, you know, with your Gen Z kids, when they go off to school, I don't want you to say, have a great day, because that's going to put too much pressure on them. You know? No, we're not going to go there. We're going to say, have the day you're going to have. Like no, we're not going to go there today. We're not going to stereotype. But we do need to understand a little bit about generations. So even how each generation was affected by COVID. So more our experiences will change how we show up in the workplace. So when we look at traditionalists who were isolated, who potentially didn't have a lot of connection, well, they're going to have a very different experience to COVID than those Gen Zs who weren't in school with their classmates, not doing sports for a couple of years. So a shared experience, as we all know, when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion, can have different impact on different people. So those are sort of the things that we need to focus a little bit on. So we're going to do another Slido pretty quickly here. I want you to look at all of the leadership styles that I've put up, or leadership traits, whatever you want to call it. So I've put a number of different traits up. Now, what I want you to do is choose 4 leadership traits, and you can choose them in your head, you don't have to write this down, that you resonate the most with, that you feel you exhibit as a leader. Now, I don't define leader by title, rank, or position, but rather by those that can influence, inspire, and impact, which is everybody that chose to show up today. So I want you to choose 4 of traits, have them in your head, and then we're going to go to, well, actually, I'm going to explain what these mean first. So why did I put those traits up, and what do they mean for you? Well, every generation tends to resonate with certain types of leadership traits. Now, that isn't necessarily saying all Gen Xers prefer their leaders to be participatory, visionary, and fun. That's not necessary, but you will see that, and there's reasons for it, that certain generations will actually resonate with certain traits. So you can see with the millennial generation, they're collaborative, flexible, informal, compared to traditionalists who tend to be a bit more directive, commanding, and hierarchical. So what I really want you to think about now, because this is a bit of a self-reflective keynote, is think about the 4 words you chose. So maybe you chose that you're a directive leader, that you're very equal, that you're very visionary, and you're very informal. But now what I want you to do is think about the people that you work with the most directly, if that be your residents, if that be your direct team, and think about where you have gaps in your leadership traits. Because what we want to do is fill in some of those gaps. If you are leading millennials right now, and I already told you that 33% of our workforce is millennials, so that's only going to grow, and perhaps you don't seem to have or feel you have a flexible or informal or even a collaborative look at leadership, I want you to think about ways that you can start to incorporate that in. And it doesn't need to be difficult. So for example, you know, maybe instead of sending an email, you send a text and maybe add a gift to it. Well, that would be an informal way to communicate, but it's going to generate some momentum with connection and relationships and connecting to the people that you actually work with. So that's what I want you to think about.